So let's talk about why the mainstream media doesn't understand inflation. And this goes back to, I was watching the TV. It was the last time we had this stuff going on about inflation, 2004 or 8 or 9, whatever it happened to be. 2009, I think, last crash. Or last, constriction, shall we say. So I was watching the TV and the BBC were on, and the BBC were talking about how inflation's dropped, okay? And so inflation's dropped. So if we're going around the supermarket the same day, obviously there's a if prices have dropped, and that's not what they were asking, by the way, so this is the bit I want to clarify in a minute. But if prices have dropped, obviously they don't drop the same day inflation figures come out, right? But this is where the BBC, who you pay all that ridiculous money to, don't understand the basics around inflation. So they were going around the supermarket and they're asking little old ladies and men, they're asking them, inflation's dropped from 3% to 1.5%. Have you noticed prices going down? Oh, not really, lovey. Oh, no, I've just seen prices going up and up and up. Of course you have. It's inflation. Inflation dropping from 3% down to 1.5% doesn't mean prices have dropped. It just means the rate of inflation has slowed down. This is the BBC. It's what I hate paying. I pay a couple of license fees because we've got HMO properties. I hate paying a license fee because these stupid people can't even get the goddamn questions right. It's like, this is not rocket science to understand. It's really simple stuff. It's just inflation. Inflation going down from 3% to 1.5%. If the thing was worth £100, okay, and it's got 3% inflation, it's now £103. If it was only 1.5% inflation, it's still gone up from £100 to £101.50. Why can the BBC not actually understand that? And for me, I remember watching this and I'm like, goodness me, it's so obvious what's going on here, and yet they couldn't see it because the thing that they wanted to put across about inflation and about, the BBC is like every other media company. It's about selling clicks, it's about selling views. It's not about selling advertising for the BBC because they don't have to. They can be as lazy as they like. But it's about selling drama and all this stuff, and it's just ridiculous. It's just, mainstream media does not understand it. And I say this time and time again. People read the Financial Times and they listen to the journalists at the Motley Fool and they think, oh, these guys know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. If they knew what they were doing, why have they got a job? Surely if they knew what they were doing, they wouldn't need to rely on somebody else. They'd have assets that pays them their salary. But no, they have to have a job because they're not good enough. They don't know what they're doing. They come out and explain blooming inflation absolutely incorrectly. And if you can't tell, it winds me up. Because we've got relatively, professional and educated people, and they can't seem to understand the sheer basics of the mechanism of what's actually at work here. And if they don't understand it and they're trained as financial people or journalism or whatever it happens to be, if they don't understand it, what hope has the normal person out in the street got? The most people out in the street are so financially illiterate, they literally have no idea about any of this. They don't know the definition of inflation off by heart. Too much money chasing too few goods. I got all my stuff, believe it or not, from GCSE Economics, Mr. Green at Templemore High. A Scottish guy. If you want anyone to teach you about economics, it should be a Scottish guy or a Scottish person. I've got some money on my desk today. Every lesson would come out and go, you see this? And he'd throw it on the desk and go, that pound's not worth a pound. That pound's worth 99 pence today. And every lesson for like the whole year, that's what he would do. It was wonderful. But that's where we got our basics of understanding finances from, about too much money chasing too few goods, about inflation. And I didn't know when I was 14 that here I am, 35 years later, explaining this to other people. But you need to have a really good grasp of financial literacy in order to understand exactly what's going on.